guys, 65 here. I'm going to go over a quick and easy engine re-ring. And when do you need a re-ring? Let me show you. We have a Tecumseh 6 horsepower engine on a Troy-Bilt Horse tiller. A classic example of when you would need to re-ring, you know, when you know it's your rings and not your valve guides or something else smoking, is the engine actually won't really smoke when it's just idling. But once it's put under load, it'll blow smoke. Let me show you. So I'm going to pop the engine off and I'll come back to you guys here in a second when I got it apart. Okay, I got it out right here. Got the head off. Didn't take that off, get the shroud off. There's a little bit of slop in there. Now I got to drain the oil. It's easier to do here. Thought I'd show you guys a quick trick. This works on Briggs, Hondas, almost everything. Have these little square shanked oil drain plugs. Problem is, they always get rounded off. So everybody's putting monkey wrenches on them and whatnot. The way around that, and also the easier way to reach them, is to use this. This is just a 3/8 extension. That actually, as long as they haven't been rounded off too much, that actually fits over there perfectly. And the wrench fits on. You can use as long as you want, and that makes it a heck of a lot easier to remove. But that essentially becomes a socket for those little square drive things. I'll drain that, get back to you guys in a minute. Okay, first I'm going to decarbonize it. Before I start working on everything else, I'm going to make sure all the carbon's gone. It may or may not be the right way. This is the way I do it. I get an electric drill, and then I get one of these wire wheels. I try not to do too much on the surface that the head gasket goes. And that lets me get a good feel of how much the piston's actually worn out. Because then you can feel the ridge. And you can feel it. It's actually not too bad. There's a little bit of lip right here. There's virtually nothing. I mean, it's teeny. But it's there. One of the things, I'm just going to re-ring this with a standard bore piston rings. Standard ones are giving me back some life. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better. So now I'm going to take off the side of the case. Governor's all up in here. We're just going to set that aside and not play around with it too much. Okay. Now, we're just going to loosen the bottom of the piston. Just remove all of our old gasket. We bought a new gasket. These are cheap. There we go. There's our piston. There's our rings. First, we'll tackle putting crosshatch back in the cylinder. Level this out. A little bit of scoring right there, probably from carbon falling in. Just barely, you can barely feel it. Looks like the piston was more getting hung up just on carbon buildup right there, but we should be able to clean that off. Now you want to take your new piston rings and make sure the end gap is right, and that is the gap that these close while they're in here. You want a gap because when they heat up they will expand. You don't want too big a gap because then you're losing compression. So I stacked a new ring right on top. On right under that is the old ring, and you will see that there is almost a 1/4 inch gap versus the new ring, which has a tolerance up to 20 thousandths, but it is closer to 30 thousandths right now. So it is bigger than its tolerance should be, but they don't sell larger rings for this engine, or oversized rings, so that is what I'm left with. But it's a heck of a lot better than what was in there. So the idea is if it's too tight, you will actually grind a little bit in between them. You can use a file, you can use a grinder just barely touching them, you can grind it on a sharpening stone inside, just enough to widen that gap. So before you put them all on, you check every single one of them, and they have a special tool that sets these things in there just right. That sets the rings down in there square because they need to be square. What I like to do is just take off my top ring. Put this one down in how it goes. Get started. I like to take the top ring off my piston and just use my piston as a square, as a level, because that'll hit on that ring and I'll set it down there square. I can check the end gap. Again, this one's about 30 thousandths, which is over, but not very many other options. So I'm gonna get it started. Work it around. There we go. I'm gonna take my middle ring. This one just happens to have a little 45 flat in it. Little, well, not a 45, but a actual 90 notch out of it, and that goes down. It has a little 45, and this just so happens to face up. There we go. Now we're going to want to stagger them. Third, so one here, 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 or so. I'll make sure our piston bore is super clean. We're going to wheel it. I don't have a ring compressor right now. What's that? Yeah. We have a hose clamp here, so we're just going to show you the hose clamp method. Not too tight, tight enough. Hold it down while you smack it in. I like to use the butt of a wooden hammer. Then you also got to make sure you're not gouging up your crankshaft. We're in. Works. Rotated the piston around a couple times, made sure it went up and down. Made sure my timing marks between my cam and my crankshaft were still aligned. Make sure my cam was pushed back in. Make sure my crankshaft was pushed all the way back in. Lubricate your surface right here. So there we go. It's all back together. I did run it for about 5-10 minutes a couple hours ago. No smoke at all. So let's start it up and show you guys. go. Quick and dirty piston ring change. Easy enough. Really don't need many special tools. Probably just a cylinder hone. Change rings. Go at it. Hey, thanks guys. Give me thumbs up, thumbs down. Hey, click the button up there, subscribe. See you soon guys, bye.